rivals chasing a Premiership and European dream, but the plan has backfired. 2 years ago, Champions League semi-finalists. January last year, they led the Premiership, but the increase in the club's wage bill has been crippling. The exodus of players from Elland Road recently has been a desperate attempt on the part of Chairman Peter Ridsdale to balance the books. Rio £30 million move to Manchester United last July was an ominous sign of things to come. Robbie Keane, Lee Bowyer and Olivier Dacour followed, and this week Robbie Fowler was finally sold to Manchester City for £6 million. The club's crown jewels have been cashed in through necessity, and on Friday Jonathan Woodgate was struck off the payroll, joining Newcastle for £9 million. The banks have been pacified for now, but Ridsdale admits mistakes have been made.
Should we have invested? Benefit of hindsight, as you say, is a wonderful thing. We shouldn't have done. We said yes too often. It's a lesson learned. But at the time, we thought it was right, otherwise we wouldn't have done it.
Manager Terry Venables has been powerless to halt the sale, and his own position has been seriously compromised.
I haven't actually said I'm going to stay. That's come out. I've not spoken to anyone since yesterday afternoon, so it's an assumption everyone's made.
For the long-suffering Leeds fans who travelled to Goodison Park, the January sale served as a reminder that football's a business, not just a game. The departures had placed a new strain on the relationship between chairman and manager. Hardly ideal preparation to face Everton. Those left were looking to end a run of 4 without a win, and they began brightly enough. Harry Kewell's shot cleared by the quick reactions of David Unsworth. Everton had their fair share of problems last year before David Moyes took charge, but this season they've become genuine challengers for a Champions League place. On loan Brian McBride among those who forced their way into the first team. The US striker just over to leave it goalless at half-time. Two others who've been key to Everton's renaissance this season are Chinese international Lee Tier and Canadian Thomas Radzinski, their only ever present. Radzinski was keeping Leeds' remaining centre-backs very much on their toes. David Moyes has exploited Radzinski's pace and sharpness to good effect in recent weeks. He's the Toffees' top scorer in the Barclaycard English Premier League. And on 56 minutes, his endeavour won Everton a penalty. Leeds' dream centre-back pairing had been Ferdinand and Woodgate. The reality was Mills and Mattia. Mills' push, David Unsworth's penalty. 1-0 to Everton, Unsworth's first league goal since August, piling on the misery for the Leeds boss. The Yorkshire side didn't have an answer to Everton's passing and movement. They'd already been warned about the combination of Lee Tier and Thomas Radzinski. 2-0 and coasting. Everton just behind fourth place Chelsea on goal difference now, thanks to Radzinski's 9th of the season. Ambition has cost Leeds dear. And at the end of a turbulent week, the manager's future remained unclear.
Obviously, the manager will need time to think what he's got to do. And, you know, hopefully he'll stay because he's a fantastic manager to work with. And you know, I'm speaking on behalf of all the players. He is really fantastic to work with, and he's such a good fella. And it'd be a great loss if he went.
A press conference occurs yesterday from something that has happened, really a bolt out of the blue. And everyone expects an answer to my situation. It's been a fight for players all the year, and I just felt this was a different situation completely, and obviously I'm not very happy about it.
From one side of the Pennines to the other, former Leeds striker Robbie Fowler made his Manchester City debut against bottom club West Brom. He's seen as the perfect foil for Nicola Anelka and another of the Liverpool old boys. Kevin Keegan's cheeks were suitably puffed up with pride with his new striker, but his concerns soon turned to defence. The legs of Carlo Nash saved from an unmarked Neil Clement, but Gary Megson's men were determined after winning just one of their last 18. City had been warned, Clement pouncing and succeeding this time. His only previous goal this season was also against the Main Road men. Kevin Keegan's men had put 4 past Fulham in midweek, and the inclusion of Fowler was the only change from that winning side. Marc-Vivien Foé was one of the scorers that night, but not this time, although his challenge did prompt the own goal from Phil Gilchrist. City had roughly double the number of West Brom's points at the start of play, and they're set to be the first of the promoted clubs to pass 40 this season. Anelka turned it in after Kevin Horlock's shot was scuffed, but the Frenchman was offside as Fowler struck on goal. Kevin Keegan spent around £30 million on players since last summer, compared to £7 million spent by Albion. And sometimes money can buy success. But while Albion don't have the financial clout of some, they do have tremendous spirit. Darren Moore bundled in their second with less than 20 minutes to go. But watch the right of your screen here. Jason Roberts showed a little too much fight when confronting new City recruit David Sommet. Use of the right elbow led to a red card for Roberts. Down to 10 men, West Brom would have an anxious last 10 minutes. They'd started today 2 points adrift of Sunderland, but were now in sight of 3 points that would lift them above both the Black Cats and West Ham. Time to get everyone behind the ball and defend for their Premiership lives. Sean Goto couldn't find a late goal as he did in November at the Hawthorns. Albion off the bottom.
I find it a little bit strange that one or two people are putting up the white flag and surrendering. It's not over by any means. It looks difficult for us, but you know we'll give it our best shot because we knew it was going to be like this right the way through the season. Some other clubs